Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. I hope it's been a great week for everyone. I hope that your dreams are coming true and that your life is working and that you're wearing your masks and that it is all turning out exactly as you would hope that it would. And if it's not exactly all of that, well, maybe we can change that for you today. Hi, Heidi. Glad that you're here. First one, again. You're very good that way. And I appreciate it. Thank you. So, how's your week been? What's been going on? What do you have to celebrate? And what might you like a little prayer for? Good afternoon, Laura. Glad that you're here. It is a good afternoon, isn't it? It's beautiful outside. At least it is here. And has been all morning. So I'm celebrating that. I'm celebrating a good day and a beautiful day. Good afternoon, Dana. Glad you're here. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hi, Donna. My goodness, everybody's coming in at the same time. I love that. I love that. I'll just leave the door open and you guys just kind of all come on in and we'll talk. Why don't we? So, show of hands. That's what the teacher used to say. Show of hands. How many of you read your horoscope every day? How many of you believe it every day? That's a whole different matter, isn't it? Wonderful Sunday, Brenda. Same to you. Donna, really? Julia, little Julia is 36 now. Oh my God. How does that happen? That children become adults and some of us just don't seem to change. Well, maybe we change a little bit, but wow. 36. She was a teenager when I met her. Well, then Lainey's the one that always makes me feel the most amazed by the passage of time. Ayla was a little bitty tot, as was Jessica, huh, Brenda? And now they're grown up and adults and making a difference in the world. And somehow in my mind they are sometimes still, and they're all taller than I am, speaking of, So, happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Oh, it is amazing, isn't it? Hi, Dana. Glad you're here. John will be 50 in February. No. Well, I didn't know John when he was a tot. I didn't. But he was pretty young. Oh, my goodness, how time flies. Anyway, I was asking about horoscopes because I got one today that I want to believe, and I thought I'd share it with you, just because I don't always believe them. So, November 22nd, 2020, it says, today you may receive, I've lost it, hold on. Today you may receive a blessing within your daily routine that you never expected. It said more than that, but that was the really interesting part. Today you may receive a blessing within your daily routine that you never expected. So I've decided that that's going to be true today, that I'm going to receive a blessing that I never expected, which is pretty good. You got to go some to do that with me on account of, because I expect blessings all the time. Don't you? Don't you? Oh, you should. You should. See, if you don't expect them, well, then you don't see all of them because you're not looking. If you expect them, your eyes are open. And I expect blessings all the time. So a blessing that I didn't expect could be super colossal. I'm very excited about today's horoscope. I also have to tell you that if I read the horoscope and don't like what it says, I don't believe it and I just move on. I pick and choose the ones that I like. Oh. Thank you, Heidi. Oh, I don't know, Donna. Do you think maybe you're not an Aries? Yeah, Brenda's updating me on all of us, on little Jessica, who now has 3 boys. One of them's brand new. How exciting is that? Heidi has animal cards she checks in with. Yeah, those are fun. I like oracle cards. I think they're interesting. Interesting. And I kind of tend to do the same thing with them that I do with the horoscope, which is if I like it, I accept it and I expect it. And if I don't like it, I put it back in the place from which it came and allow it to just be there and go on about my life. So here, what is the bottom line in all of that? The bottom line is expect good, isn't it? The bottom line is be open to good surprises, great things happening. It's a mindset more than it is a destiny or a destination. It's about expecting good all the time. Do I sometimes fall off the wagon? Oh, sure. Yeah, of course I do. But predominantly, I expect good most of the time. I expect when something seems to be lost, I expect it to be found. When something seems to be going wrong, I expect that something good is going to come of it most of the time. And it works for me most of the time. I have to tell you that. So, I would encourage you to go there, to do that. Tarot cards are Brenda's just brought up tarot cards. And I have them everywhere around me. Tarot cards are interesting. I don't think they predict the future so much as they open your mind to being aware of what you know. Oh, Jennifer, I'm so sorry. She's been playing washing machine tech. Why does that not sound like any kind of fun at all? Did it work? Have you fixed it? Have you made it better? Is the washing machine fixed? Is it doing what it's supposed to do now? Or does it know? Or has it lost its mind? I know sometimes they just lose their minds. I don't fully understand why that happens, but I'm very aware that it does. That sometimes our little machines that we depend on so much just kind of go blooming crazy. And then strange things happen and they don't do what we expect them to do. Speaking of expecting things. So, how is everybody today? How you doing? How's your heart? How's your spirit? How's your mind? I know it's well with your soul. I just know that. But how's the more human side of you doing with the week? Has it been a good week? Has it been a challenging week? How's it been and how have you been in it so far? I talked to most of you on Wednesday, so I know how you were then. How are you now? So we're still not sure about the washing machine. Okay. Well, thank you for stopping and being here instead. And maybe with what you learn here today, you can go back and fix it when you're done. Or not care as much that it's not working. Challenging week. Boy, that's a good word, isn't it? Challenging. It's a great word for metaphysicians. Instead of, naming it awful, we just say it's been challenging. I had to work at being who I was and knowing what I know, because things seem to be fighting me. Manageably challenging. That's good. How you doing now with it? How you holding up? And how about the rest of you? Huh? What's going on? How have you been? How have you been? How's life been with you? Think on that, because I have some thoughts. I'm looking for a card, and this is not actually the deck that I want to be looking for it in, but it's the one that I've got in front of me, so hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. Just for a moment. This is not happening as quickly or as efficiently as... there we go. I'm not as fond of this deck as I might be. Others. I am someplace. I use this one specifically for someone very special, and it's perfect for her. But it doesn't always show me what I want to see. But that's okay. This will work. This will work. Scattered week, huh, Heidi? Yeah, okay. That happens. All right, Kirk. Let's... Let's just say a quick prayer for Kirk's back. And know that he is whole and perfect and complete, and that every cell, every single cell right now is responding to the awakening prayer that says that he is whole and perfect and complete. Spirit, in its wholeness, in its healingness, moves through him right here, right now. And he responds. His body responds. It awakens to the call. It remembers who and what it really is and acts appropriately. And we're grateful for that. And so it is. There. All right. So, I never know which way to go with this thing. There. It's the Magician card. And the tarot deck, it is the Magician card in this particular tarot deck, which is called Arcanum. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. So I want to talk to you today about being a magician. Because you are. See, I've watched you guys, some of you for years now, some of you for decades now. And I constantly marvel at how powerful you are. How amazing that the ease with which you transform reality. You do it all the time. You do it all the time. And clearly you all did it. You all demonstrated your power today. In a world that bemoans the passing of miracles, you have done a magical, a miraculous thing. You have. You, without ever leaving your home, have managed to connect with me and with one another, if you choose, all of us in different places, and you did it without anyone going anywhere or doing anything but pushing a button or two and moving a cursor. Wow. Think about it. 100 years ago, people would have laughed at the possibility if you had told them what you were going to do. Or actually seeing you perform this miraculous feat, they would have accused you of being mad, or a witch, or a magician, which didn't always have a real great connotation. And perhaps you are. Really. The magic doesn't just happen for everyone. There are still some people who do not have the hardware, or the software, or the monitor, or the phone, or whatever you are using to perform this amazing task. And so they may not even be aware of the magic that they might have experienced. But I want you to be aware. I want you to see how amazing this process is. I want you to recognize the power of what you are doing, and even more importantly, the incredible possibilities inherent in what you have set in motion. Because, my friends, you have consciously chosen to be in two places at once today. You, with your own hand, are managing to be in two places at once. To be where you physically are, and yet to communicate with someone who is not in the same room, but is on the same page. So, what else are you going to do today? I received an email from Jean Houston some time ago, a woman I greatly admire. And it said, imagine for a moment that what your life would be like if you could simply stop the universal clock for 3 hours every day to do whatever you wanted before the clock started ticking again. What would you do with this sudden 180-minute boon? Would you get urgent things done that you never seem to find time for? Would you pursue a hobby or other activity that rarely gets prioritized in your life? Would you spend time contacting friends or family that you don't get to talk to or be with as often as you'd like? Those were her suggestions. I added a few more thoughts. You could pick up the phone or go to the internet and do something, almost anything would help, to make life easier for someone whose life is not as magical as yours. You could dedicate the time specifically to being a beneficial presence in the world, whatever that looks like to you. You could spend the time changing your mind about something that you know you really need to change your mind about, and really get that done once and for all. That's magical. You could call a friend, write a love letter, write a poem. You could dance with your sweetheart, or, like Rumi, dance with the beloved. You could use this magical period in your life to do something you've always wanted to do, but simply never found the time or made the time to, or had the time to, until you created it. You could read or meditate or pray, or 1,001 little bitty things that would make your life better. You have the ability today to do what you choose to do. of course, you always have had. But hopefully today you are becoming more aware of that. And being aware, you will, hopefully, do something with your newfound awareness of your magical abilities. Unless, of course, you think I'm quite mad and you seriously doubt that I know what I'm talking about. To paraphrase an old coward, doubt is the reef upon which all our frail mystic ships are wrecked. But isn't that really impossible? If we just pay attention. Because if we pay attention, we come to realize that we have to work a lot harder at doubting than we do at believing. Everything we experience, everything we touch, taste, handle, smell, feel, everything in our environment, in our body, in our conditions, in our finances, in our friends, in our lovers, in our jobs, everything is an effect of our thinking. The endless and limitless possibilities that are ours depend upon our thinking and our believing. Forget for a moment what appear to be the limitations which encumber things. You know, according to the story, even God started out with nothing but itself and its word. And in the beginning, Genesis tells us, God created out of nothing. Or, if you prefer the New Testament, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. God and its Word created out of nothing. Here's a real point of reference. God, universal life, creator, creation itself, was all there was in the beginning. Creation in a garden, creation by virtue of a Big Bang, it doesn't matter. Whatever story you are prone to believe, something started it all. Yes? And all that ever was, and all that is, and all that ever will be came from that moment, because there wasn't anything else. It's not like God said, I'm bored out here in the void. I'll go to the store and buy a universe. That limitless life just kept becoming. Gardens, frogs, trees, puppies, people, you, all expressions, all the becoming of that one life. So, if you are a point of individuality in a limitless life, the limitless life of creation, which you are, and if all of your life and experience is drawn from this one life, which it must be because there's nothing else, and if there can be nothing else, because what would it be, then you are creation and expression. And nothing, good or bad, great or small, can happen to you or for you unless it happens through you. And you have the power to change the chain of causation at any time, if you just decide to do so. It's like magic. You got here today because you decided to do that. Maybe you couldn't have done it 100 years ago, but this isn't 100 years ago. It is now. Times change. Things change. How they change and how we feel about that, that's where we come in. The infant becomes the toddler becomes the child, the child becomes a teen, God help us, and then a young adult. We've all witnessed the miracle. We've all seen the magic, haven't we? And although one moment, one experience may be precious, to try to hold on to it is to deny the many more precious moments that can follow. To try to hold on to the way that it was is a sure way to create pain. Life is about change. We can fight it. We can fall back and stay back and try to hold on to the way that it was. We can refuse to keep up with the changes. But then we will always be out of step with life. For life moves and grows and changes. The sage said that you can't step into the same river twice. And in what was a blinding flash of the obvious, Bob Dylan sang the times, they are a-changin'. We must come to trust that although we do not always understand the reasoning behind it, although we do not always see the way, we must believe that change will be change for the better. Because if we do not believe that, if we do not support that, then that will not be our reality. We have to believe. We have to believe that we, through the power within us, can do what needs to be done, can do what we dream of doing, can perform the magic and make the miracles. You know, one thing I love about this card, whichever deck you choose to use, well, there's a few things. One is that there's an infinity sign over the top of the magician's head, which tells us that he is connected to a greater power, that he is one heart and soul and spirit with the infinite. In this particular card, his right hand is raised. Normally it's raised way up and pointing, but he still points up to show that he knows where the power comes from. And then the table in front of him holds each of the symbols for the different suits. A cup, a sword, a wand, and a coin. That he has the power to create mental well-being, emotional well-being, physical well-being, material well-being, and passion about what he's doing in life. I love the Magician card because it's all about connection to the infinite. And we must know that when we use the power we have, it is not I with my shortcomings, not I with my failings, not little me in this great, big, super changing world. Not I, but the spirit within me. We can do this. We can accomplish this. We can create this. Not I, but the power within me doeth the work. we are not all created the same. We are individualized images of first cause. And we don't need to do it all. We simply need to go about doing what is ours to do. Emerson, brilliant Emerson, said, "Nature arms each man with some faculty which enables him to do easily some feat that is impossible to any other man." What is that in you? Have you looked? Have you said, what is it I can do that easily, that other people find difficult? And if you don't know what that is, then you haven't really looked. You haven't really paid attention. Find the uniqueness. Find the magic within you and praise it. Raise it up. Honor the gift you have been given. Work your own kind of magic. Look, I know that on a whole lot of levels, these are interesting times in that way that suggests that it is both a blessing and a curse. There is no doubt that the world is changing. It is not the world any of us were raised in. It's not the world we expected to be living in. It is often not the life we thought we would be living. Then that may or may not be good news in the moment. And while it is true that wrong conditions exist, they could not remain unless there was someone to experience them, someone to think about them, to hold them in consciousness. So the experience, though it may be a fact in the moment, is at an even deeper level only a form that consciousness has taken. And that can be changed, can't it? Change your thinking. Change the world. We as metaphysicians are privileged to know a great truth. Change the consciousness, and like magic, you change the reality. What do you see in the world when you look? Have you looked? What do you want to see? Do you believe that you, just little you, sitting there on the other side of this computer magic thing, that you can be a catalyst for change? A catalyst for change in your family, in your community, in your nation, in your world. Do you believe, really believe, that you, just as you are, with all of your shortcomings, still have within you a power that can change the world? Because you do. 2,000 years ago, a great teacher, a great healer, said, if you believe these things that I do, and even greater things will you do. And those who believed did great things. And those who did not believe did not. Yes, the world is changing. And we have a very special knowledge, and we have an unchanging God in times of change. What more do we need? That same Spirit that healed through Jesus and those who believed still lives in you. The same power that worked miracles 2,000 years ago can work miracles through you in 2020. The times have changed. The tools have changed. God has not. No matter what our experience may be, no matter what may be in our thinking or how it got there, the conscious mind, knowing that we are one with God, can change it. That's what faith does. That's what prayer does. Now look, you created a small miracle this morning, and it came so easily you didn't even notice that you did it. You, through the power of choice, connected with me in Ventura, though I could be anywhere. You set it into motion when you decided to be here and turned on your computer. You may not have even realized in the moment what you were really doing, but you did it. And you did it consciously. You made a choice. I'm asking you to make another choice today. Choose to believe that you not only have the power to be in two places at once, but you have the power to do even greater things than this. Here's a little secret. Miracles are perfectly natural little things that we do bring into our lives through the power of our choice, through the power of our faith. The times are changing. The wise person chooses what that means and then meditates upon it. So, being wise, will you join me in a short meditation? Close your eyes or soft focus, you know the drill. Relax. Listen with your heart and spirit. And notice that life itself, God's life, is swirling around you. And everything is within that swirl. You are surrounded by and immersed in the life of God. And now, as you watch in your mind's eye, things begin to fall away, ultimately revealing only those things that are in your life. Everything in your life, done and undone, is within that energy that is swirling around you now. Now imagine that there was one thing, just one, in your life that you could change. One thing that you could heal or amend or could recreate. Locate that one thing within that energy that is swirling around you and focus on it. In your mind's eye, choose that one thing and see it come to you and hold it in your hand. Focus on it. See it for what it really is. And as you do that, the swirl slows and forms a circle. and the circle slows and takes on what appears to be the face of a clock. This clock clearly is different. It's made of God's stuff. It shimmers. It has life. And there is something else. As you look at each number on the face of the clock, it changes. Each number shimmers with the life of spirit and then becomes the number 1. It doesn't matter which number you look at, for each number does the same thing. Shimmers and becomes the number 1. 1. One spirit, one power, one life. God's life. Your life. Now. This magical clock is the symbol of your connection to infinite power. You can, if you choose, set it back and heal the past. You can set it forward and transform the future. Start where you are and set aside anything that you think is in the way. Look again at what you are holding in your hand. What needs to be done that you, being one with God, can do? Where does the spiritual magic need to happen? In the past? Then reach out and set the clock back. Does it need to happen in the future? Then reach out and set the clock ahead. Does it need to happen now? Then look again and realize that every single moment you are one with God. Every moment you are connected to the power. This is your moment. But you must choose it. You can change things. Past, present, future. Choose now to work the magic and claim your power. See the thing that you hold transformed. See it changed for the better. Know that if there is something else you need to do to make this happen, it will be revealed in the perfect time. You are one with God. You are creative. You have the power. Howard Thurman wrote, "The world, the cosmos, my little life are contained in God." If I keep the roadway open, even as I live doing my thing in the world of things, I can keep journeying back home to a state of spiritual transcendence, to be recentered, renewed, recreated, redeemed, over and over again as long as I live and beyond. When you are ready, begin to see the clock once again. Watch it become a shimmering circle. The circle then becomes a shimmering swirl. Release the transformed thing you are holding back into the life, God's life, that swirls around you, knowing that it is changed. Begin to bring your conscious mind back into this space and time. And know, absolutely know, that there is a time for everything. And in its perfect time, this will be done. The magic will have become the miracle. You have set that into motion. Be grateful and know that it is done. And so it is. It is done. So, now what, my little magician friends? Now what? Take the power with you as you go about your lives today. Remember how you feel. Let your mind be convinced. And if you feel yourself slipping or forgetting, then just close your eyes for a moment and see that energy swirling around you and know that it is always there. It is not something we have created so that we can get a mental picture. It is something that is there all of the time. We forget. And in our forgetfulness, we forget how powerful we may be. You are immensely powerful. Without giving it any particular thought this morning, you just came in and pushed a button or a couple of keys on your keyboard and moved your cursor around, and bingo, there I was, waiting for you. What more can you do than that? So much more. That's just a beginning. It's just a beginning. You have the power to transform your life. You have the power to transform the world. Just do what you're guided to do. Do what your heart points you to do. I love all of you. I really do. I so look forward to our time together. And I pray for you, and I know for you that you know who you are. I'm just this little person that sits on your shoulder sometimes and says, hey, hey, you really want to believe that? Know who you are. Know who you are. And then be that. Don't forget. And when you feel like you're forgetting, just hear that little voice on your shoulder going, hey, I can be soft and loving. And I can be a real nudge. Whatever you need me to be, I'm there.
Yes, you can.
The tech department. So, at Spirit Works, I inherited a tradition. I started a lot of traditions, but I inherited a tradition, and that was a Thanksgiving Eve service, which I always loved doing. And so I'm going to kind of do that sort of thing this Wednesday. Join me if you're free. I'd love to see you there. Probably isn't going to have music, because anytime you put music on one of these videos, Facebook goes crazy and wants to make sure that you have permission to use it and ties it up and does all kinds of strange things. So we may not have music, but I do have a Thanksgiving talk, and I'd love to share it with you. So I'll be here Wednesday night. Jennifer says, nudge away, I need it. Oh, we all do, sweetheart. Yeah, we all do. We forget. I have a little voice inside of me that says, hey, what are you doing? That's not it. And now I have my little, outside reminder. I have my little bracelet that says, life is a spiritual exercise, which, when I remember that, it changes everything. When I'm feeling frustrated, when I'm feeling like, what is this that's going on? I look at that and go, oh, that's right. So what have I got to learn from this? What's the spiritual response to what's going on, or what I'm feeling, or what I think I'm seeing? What is that? And that changes things. It really does. It really does. Brenda, do you still have your rubber band on? Brenda joined me the first night. Put her little reminder on. Lainey's gonna have her turkey and her pilgrim hat. I like that. Okay, good. Yeah, the Thanksgiving feast was good too, wasn't it? Yeah, back in the day. Ah, well. We couldn't have done that this year anyway, could we? Wouldn't have been a good idea. I'm sorry for those of you that had to change plans. But because of changed plans, there will be next year. Something to remember. It's sad to set a tradition aside, but it'll give us something to talk about, won't it, in the future? Remember the year that we couldn't do it? The year that we all sat home and pouted? It won't be the same. But we can create ways to make it as good differently. Think outside the box. What can you do to celebrate, to connect with those people, to make you feel grateful for your life, for this year, for them? I've never necessarily believed that absence makes the heart grow fonder, but I do know that absence sometimes makes us remember. So let's remember the good. And remember one another. And we can spend Wednesday evening together, or you can catch up later if you'd like. just know that there's a gift in this year. Somehow there is a gift in this year and all the things that are going on in this year. And demand it. I will not let you go 2020 until I have the blessing in you. There has to be one. There always is. So let us look for it, and looking for it, let us find it, and finding it, let us make use of it, that we may, in fact, be blessed by all of this year. We're still here. God's not done with us yet. And on that thought, I think I will let you go. We have pretty much prayed. Good thinking, Jennifer. I like the way your mind works. So if you came in late, or if you just want to hear something again, you know, because you are magic, that you can make me come back and do it all over again. All you have to do is press a few buttons. Wave your magic wand. Ain't that grand? Have a magical rest of your week. Have a miraculous week filled with wonder. And I'll be back here Wednesday night looking for you. So please come join me. And if you have to miss it, you know how to make me reappear. Isn't that fun? Look what you can do. Just look what you can do. And know that as you go about your week, you go with God. Because you can go no other way. God bless. Have a sweet week.